Hi folks, here we are again back at Randyland and the Randy Collection, the wonderful world of Randy and all the fun stuff that we have inside that we're giving you the privilege of seeing and gasping over because it's so wonderful. You won't even believe the things we're going to show you today. But we happen to be over here at a very unusual thing. Not many people have this type of thing, although there could be others. Who knows who's out there in the world who happens to have their own Omnimover vehicle cars from Walt Disney World in Florida. Now, the Omnimovers is a design that Disney came up with in order to move people. Very, very mass moving systems. So you get many, many thousands of people an hour. So they developed these ride systems that are on a track, and it's one after another. And one of the most famous, of course, is the Haunted Mansion. The Haunted Mansion where you would get into your doom buggy and this, the railings would move forward with the front seat and you would get in and they would automatically close on you like ghosts are doing it. But they used the same car, the same design when they opened If You Had Wings. Now, If You Had Wings was a very special ride, really, really popular over in Tomorrowland at Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom. And the reason it was such an amazing hit in the beginning was when If You Had Wings opened, it was a free attraction. And that was very unusual at the Magic Kingdom at that time because you were coming in and having to use your A, B, C, D, and E tickets in order to go on any attraction. Now, the A ticket was usually worth a dime. You could buy A tickets for a dime, but you got ticket books that had an assortment of tickets. And each ticket said on the ticket what rides they were good for, what attractions. The A tickets were good for the Main Street Omnibus, the horse trolleys, the jitney, the horseless carriages on Main Street, the vehicles, the Main Street Cinema. These were all A ticket items because it was only a dime. And you could actually give the attendant a dime if you didn't have your A ticket back in those days. The B tickets were worth a quarter, and that would be the shooting gallery over in Frontierland, things of this level. C was now you were getting into the better attractions. So the Mickey Mouse Review, which was really a very, very nice attraction, and people still reminisce about it, and a lot of you younger folks who don't remember the first few years at the Magic Kingdom have never seen the Mickey Mouse Review, but that was over in Fantasyland, and it was an animatronic show, and it was all about Mickey Mouse and the characters. It was really wonderful. It was only there a couple years, but that was only a C ticket because it was almost like a promotion. But the D could be the Enchanted Tiki Room, different rides like that. Dumbo's ride could have been a D if I'm not mistaken. But you had your rides that weren't the majors were a D. But the E ticket was the Covenant ticket, and that was 90 cents, only 90 cents if you had to buy more E tickets. But that was the big rides like the Haunted Mansion and shall we say the Pirates of the Caribbean, which didn't open originally at the beginning of the park, but those would be E tickets. So here you had If You Had Wings open in Tomorrowland, and it was free because it was presented by Eastern Airlines. So people would gravitate to that ride because they didn't need any tickets at all. They didn't have to, run out of tickets in their ticket book or not go on Space Mountain because they used their e-ticket. They could go on If You Had Wings, and it was an Omnimover ride, so the line moved rather quickly. It wasn't a really long ride, but it was a really nice ride, and it had this repetitive song. People always talk about, it's a small world. It's a small world after all. That's repetitive, and it just kind of sinks into your brain like brain leeches. It just gets in there. Well, If You Had Wings was similar. If you had wings, if you had wings.
If you had wings, had wings, had wings. If you had wings, had wings, had wings.
But you could go anywhere if you had wings. You could do anything if you had wings. If you had wings. And on and on and on. If you had wings. They were constantly driving and driving. And at the end of the ride, they would say, you do have wings. We'll be your wings. Eastern. The Wings of Man. So the Eastern Airlines was the official airline of Walt Disney World in Florida, and they were using their promotion through the ride, which is they were paying for the operation, therefore it was free. So they used the same ride vehicles as they did in the Haunted Mansion because it was a proven system, but of course they weren't black like the Haunted Mansion. They were a blue because it was If You Had Wings, like you're flying through the sky. So If You Had Wings was all full of projections as if you're going all over the world and seeing the different places you could go, and they're all singing in synchronous. And eventually, after a few years, they lost the sponsorship of Eastern Airlines. So what would they do? What would they do? So they changed the name of the ride. So they changed it If You Could Fly. I mean, it's very, very close, but they were taking away, if, you know, the Eastern Airlines, you know, dedication on it. But then they got a new sponsor, and it was Delta Airlines, and they became the new official airline of Walt Disney World, and it became Delta Dream Flight. So they changed the interior, and, you know, be honest with you, I never really liked Delta Dream Flight as much as If You Had Wings. It was nice, but it just didn't have that same, you know, hypnotizing draw that made you like bug-eyed. You just got to sing the song. So it became Dream Flight, and it was nice. It was there for a lot of years. Eventually, they changed the ride completely. Buzz Lightyear took over the If You Had Wings, the Dream Flight, If You Could Fly. They took it over, and it became the Buzz Lightyear and the Toy Story ride in Tomorrowland. And it's, of course, you know, the parks are long since gone from A, B, C, D, E tickets, and it's, you know, all general admission. And everybody still likes it. They go on it. But what they added to be unique was it's a ride where you're going through that's supposed to be interactive, and you're shooting a little laser gun at targets going by, and you're getting score on your dashboard of your, you know, Omni vehicle, which is, it's nice, but, you know, in all honesty, it's really not that accurate. You know, I'm used to shooting arcade games where you go shoot, shoot, shoot. As soon as you push the button, you shoot, shoot. But the way the Toy Story ride works, it's having to do all the guns on all those ride vehicles basically at the same time, so they all can't fire at the exact same split second. So the way it works is, you know, we're talking microseconds. Gun number 1 might shoot, and then a microsecond later, gun number 2 will shoot, number 3, and it goes through hundreds of guns before it gets back to the cycle. So when you push the button, it goes, you know, bloop, 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 but that's the cycle that it's going through all those guns. It's really going around through all the units, and that's how it knows who hit the target. Because when the target sensor activates, it knows by timing of what microsecond which gun was activated that could have hit the target, even though you can't see it so quickly. And it's nice, but for somebody who likes to do accurate shooting, you can't really aim and shoot it because of the delay on it. But it's still a nice ride. The kids love it, and they like to see their score. And, you know, you go through it, and sometimes you see that you got the high score at the end, which was really thrilling. And, you know, I don't ride it very much, but I'm way up there in the scores, as you can tell. But, you know, through my time at, you know, Walt Disney World, I always like to acquire special things from the parks because they were special. And this is long before people got into collecting park items. I mean, I was there before people started focusing on it. People didn't even realize that you could get park items from Walt Disney World in Florida or Disneyland. But being there, they had a really wonderful place that was, at that time, for cast members only, and it was called Property Control. So Property Control would be, shall we say, bestowed upon with the getting rid of things from the parks or Walt Disney World. All the hotels and all these things would go through Property Control. So being a big company, all property is identified for where it's from, and it has an asset, and a lot of things have asset numbers. Some things don't, like Omnimovers don't have asset numbers because it's part of a particular system. But many things are destroyed. I know that's really hard to accept, especially for somebody like me who's about preservation, but they like to destroy the things so that they're not out there to break the illusion and the magic of being at Walt Disney World or Disneyland, because you see only those things, especially there. So many things have gone directly to the landfill, where they're chopped up through the chopping machine and just blown into the dirt, and you never see them again. And it's sad to think of. I really hate to think about it. But when you acquire something that they actually let you get, it's really all that much more special, because very few things get out of there alive, shall we say. And, at least you saved it from the chipping machine that didn't get destroyed. In recent times, I've seen on eBay somebody selling a lucite poured molding thing where it has pieces of the park, and there might be 16 or 32, I guess, depending upon how much money you want to spend, and it's all encased in clear plastic, and there's a chart, and it would tell you what that's a piece of, and literally it's the things that went through the chopper that were chopped up to little, and some people are thrilled to have this on their desk because they got a little piece of this ride or a little piece of that attraction or that costume molded into plastic. To me, I wouldn't even want that because it would make me realize that it was destroyed. But when you can save something, at least so it's recognizable, that's really, really special because you're living on and holding on to your dreams of still being that little kid on the ride. And what's important with all the things I have, it's not just the memories that I hold, it's the memories that you hold and everybody else holds. Of course, we have a common history going on these magnificent rides in not just Disney, but all amusement parks where we went, which is why I'm a preservationist of amusement park memorabilia. I collect our history. I wanted to show you one of the things I preserved is my little saving of If You Had Wings, the Dream Flight, the Omnimovers. Here they are from Toy Story. And these are the actual ride units that came from the ride. And originally they were blue. And I don't know, can we see under there? That looks like it's blue under there. Can you see that? I think that is the original blue. Now, it's pretty hard for them to sandblast off all of the colors. So I think we actually, because that looks in my mind's memory exactly as the blue that it was. But originally the If You Had Wing cars that were then refurbished for the different rides, I think they were still blue when they did Delta Dream Flight, if my mind's correct. But then they became green for Toy Story, and they put this big decal on the front for the Buzz Lightyear and the type of thing. Now, of course, we have some wear on it, which is probably the reason they were replaced, probably the reason they were taken out of service. Now, they could replace this decal, I'm sure, by heating it and getting it off and sandblasting it down and building it. So there might have been some other reason why they were retired. There might have been some stress crack inside of it that they felt that it was better to replace it than to just refurbish it. But for whatever reason, I got them, and I made my little display here. And of course, we have Randy mannequins sitting in the different ride cars because they move in a parade succession. And we have a host over on the side here who, of course, is in a Tomorrowland costume. And back in my day, Tomorrowland, that costume would have changed, obviously, of course, for Buzz Lightyear. But during If You Had Wings, that's more typical of the costume that they would be wearing over there. And although they would probably more have a blue Tomorrowland, pants and shirt, but that is the official Tomorrowland, jacket that would be worn in the wintertime. But, the guns were gone, the score units were gone. I got some replacement guns, so as you're going by, you can pretend that you're shooting the different targets along and getting your score for the Buzz Lightyear story. So, I mean, I just love it because of the memories that it holds, that I can just walk by this and see it, and it puts me back to the time when I was a little kid on If You Had Wings and Delta Dream Flight or any other of the rides that these ride cars took. The millions of people that sat with these and held on to these handles. These handles had your hands on them. Your hands were on those handles, just like Randy's hand is on that handle right now. You have to bring your dreams with you. You carry them with you. Yes, you experience them at the parks, but they become part of who you are. And if you hold on to your dreams and hold on to your memories, anywhere you go in life, you're still there. Because at any minute that you need that little escape, you can put yourself in it. And when you have something that's tangible, even more so than a picture, although pictures are good, videotape is good, when you can actually touch it, there's magic. There's magic. There's the vibe. There's the feeling. There's the energy that is within the item itself that you feel through your senses and through your fingers because you have a soul and you can feel and you can experience and you can have the empathy of what it was and what it means. So this is what it's about. This is what I'm about. I'm about preserving our history. It's Americana, but it's amusement park specialty. I'm a collector of amusement park memorabilia. People call me a hoarder. Sure, I was on the Hoarders show. I hoard amusement park memorabilia and arcade machines because of what they are and what they mean to us. Hold on to your memories. I hold on to mine. And together, we can make the world a much better place through the preservation and understanding of what is special in our life. Now, thanks for joining us, guys, and we will see you next time with another wonderful story from the wonderful world at Randyland. Be sure to subscribe. If you didn't subscribe, you're going to get in trouble. Push that button, subscribe so you don't miss any of this, because this is really good stuff. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks a lot.